decided to hop on the bandwagon as well and try the Foundry out for myself. Now, as good as Foundry's ID ability is, being able to counter the likes of indexing and pull all your eyes out, allowing you to run Ice Light, there must be a reason for you to run Foundry over HB Engineering the Future, which is still one of the best abilities in the game. So yeah, here's my reason. I'm not going to install too many cards, just a couple of eyes to keep the runner out. The rest of my deck is dedicated entirely to events. So I'm playing an event-based deck with lots of event-based economy and fast advance mechanisms. Even all my fast advance mechanisms, I'm not running any Sands or Alex Talbots to fast advance stuff. Everything is using events. So using Engineering the Future, the income game will be limited, whereas for Foundry, not only can I dedicate more card space to events because I can run less ice. I can afford to run less ice because I can tutor them with Foundry's ability. So that's the main benefit here. Alright, enough of rambling. Let's get on with the game. This is a prepaid voice pet economy Reina that I'm facing against. Very, very unique. Haven't seen Reina very often at all, let alone a prepaid voice pet and up. That certainly is unique. And seeing how slow he takes to set up, clicking for credits half the time, I decided to sneak out a quick Vitruvius. Or he wasn't watching. So far, I managed to keep him out with just one layer of ice per server, which is very rare. Nowadays, one layer of ice can barely do any work, especially against Enox. If your first rest ice is next silver, you bet that it will be burned off to Parasite very quickly. So that is something always on my mind. I'm always preparing at least one end run ice in my hand in the event that he runs through R&D, runs it down with Parasite. Alright, so I start to get agenda flooded, and since he's not placing any pressure at all, I begin to start scoring a very important agenda, Efficiency Committee, because I run Shipment from Sansan in my deck. Alright, so no contest. Once again, I score a free agenda. So this is very important, being able to churn out agendas quickly. It's always a trademark of HB. It's very easy to do in HB because they have 6 3-2 agendas, unlike any other faction aside from MBN, of course. Alright, and I'm using the next ice suite, which is pretty obvious. It's quite a no-brainer for a deck that runs so light on ice. Event-based economy is not very strong. So you do need to run relatively cheaper ice. You can't afford to play Heimdalls and Ichi 2.0s everywhere, unless you have some means of raising them cheaply. So yeah, the next ice suite is cheap yet taxing, which is fantastic, so long as the next silvers don't die out to parasites. Alright, the knight hits the table, and this is a signal that he wants to enter HQ. So I need to ice up HQ. I'm afraid of legwork, account siphon, whatever you name it. That's not going to happen. Seeing the knight on the table means I need to protect against that. But nope, he decides to redirect his attention to R&D instead. And I happily rest the bronze. Now with 3 next ice on the board, there are 3 subroutines on the next bronze, so it's very annoying for him to break. I'm very surprised that his Kuroda hasn't hit the table yet. It's really setting him back a hell lot. That next silver has been rest since the beginning of the game, and he still has no answer for it, be it Kuroda or Parasite, and that's really costing him a lot. If he allows me to rest any more next ice, which he does right here, his York is put out of range of next bronze, so he's in huge trouble right now. I'm still worried that he might be packing an ice cover or something, so no getting too confident just yet. And I have 2 more next bronzes in my hand ready to go to tax him to oblivion. Alright, now he attempts to run my HQ and I let him through. At this point, I'm up 6-0. He is having a very, very hard time getting any economy off, so I'm okay with him stealing an agenda. Sure enough, he does. At this point, I'm pretty poor. I could throw the Vitruvius into the remote, but I do not have the credits to rest the Ichi yet. Reina's ability has been grinding me down a bit. But him lacking parasites means that he's not taxing me a lot. Had he been wearing down all my next ice, things would have been much different. Alright, so luckily or rather you could say wisely got up to 6 credits before he decided to run. So now he attempts to demolition run my HQ, and at this point, since he has sniped all the agendas from my hand, I decided to trash his York instead of his knight. I'm letting him through. He can certainly access my entire hand for all I care. He'll destroy 3 cards, but that's not a worry for me because at this point, the cost of breaking through my HQ is so prohibitively high that it doesn't matter in my eyes whether he's making it through or not. Because he's just spending too much effort for nothing. There are no agendas here yet. All the agendas are stolen already. So now I'm just gaining credits so that I can use my shipment from Setset to score the last agenda. I still have one more efficiency committee token that is enough to score another 3-2 agenda to win the game. Chronos project would actually fit in this deck pretty nicely. I could use some 3-1 agendas. Although, as to how useful they are, I'm not exactly sure. It seems like a very niche include. Not very helpful in this kind of deck anyways. Could be really helpful against Shaper though. That's something I have to admit. And now I draw into even more fast advance and money. So things are looking very good for me. And he still doesn't really have a rig up. I blew away his York. That will take him forever to get that back. And in the meantime, my R&D is completely shut off. He has no decoder or fractor, which shouldn't happen by this point in the game. Or he should have an AI breaker at least. Now he pulls off another huge play, another demolition run, and I can't do anything about it. Maybe I should have protected the HQ a little better. Now I'm going to lose all my fast advance mechanisms. He's not going to steal any agendas at least, but I'll have to slow advance the final agenda to win. That would be pretty annoying. Well, ouch. That hurt. Alright. I draw into an agenda. That sends me in panic mode. And I see the interns. Okay, that saves me. Interns is a card I included to protect against parasites from noise. Looks like it's helpful here in sealing up my HQ so that he doesn't get another demolition run off. I really cannot afford to let him get in and steal my NAPD. That will put him on match point 2. Alright, I draw into accelerated diagnostics. Now, you didn't see that coming. Now, this is the entire point of my deck. Playing accelerated diagnostics blindly. Because I'm playing at least 20 operations in my deck, the chance of me hitting operations with accelerated diagnostics is extremely high. Just like how the chance of hitting ice is very high when playing accelerated beta tests. This is used mostly to leverage on playing doubles very easily. When you play a celebrity gift or an interns using accelerated diagnostics, you don't actually have to pay the extra click, so you're achieving a lot of work compression. That is the entire theory behind it. This accelerated diagnostics turned out to be pretty fail. All I got was an interns and celebrity gift. Gift was useless because I only had 1 card in hand, and interns I just recycled a Jackson, which was pretty helpful because it turns out that through the accelerated diagnostics, I sent an ABT back into my archives. Still, yes, that wasn't the best diagnostics. So he attempts to run my scoring server because obviously I would win otherwise. He decided to install the Morningstar by hand, which was a huge mistake because that left him with only 2 credits. We argued about the credit cost of entering my server. That wasn't enough to steal the NAPD in there, and he lost the game. But had it been a Corroder instead, he would have scored the NAPD. Things would have been real different. So, yeah, I like the Morningstar as a concept. It really eats through Eli's for free. But in Anarch, it's not a very good card to use. Even though he has Retrieval Run, which I saw earlier, that he used to fish out his York, it's very subpar. And it's still weak to higher strength sentries, barriers, which are the Heimdalls, your Hadrian's Wall. Not easy to counter those at all, sure, but it was really unfortunate. At the end of the game, he told me that his draw luck went all wrong. His sure gambles didn't appear very often. His lucky finds as well. The parasites were, I guess, stuck in the bottom of his deck. He was running parasites. And yeah, he didn't manage to find his fractal at all until that late in the game, which was pain. But overall, that's what you have to come to expect from Enoch. Even though they have gotten a new lease of life with cash, Enochs are still mighty inconsistent. Even if you're playing pawn shot noise, if you don't draw that Aesop's halfway into your game, you're pretty screwed. So yeah. Well, this game was unfortunate for him. And for me, well, I hoped that accelerated diagnostics would do more. Maybe I should play more to find out. But for now, thanks for watching and have a good day. See you around.